In this video, we're going to be installing the CSF Race-Spec intercooler on the F33. Let's go. What's up everyone, I'm Steve and you're watching F33. Now if you like this video, give a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss when a new video drops. Now BMW engines run hot and the N55 in my 435 is no exceptions. Now some things that can increase the oil temps even further are living in a warmer climate, tuning for increased horsepower, or hitting the track. So what do you do if you want to lower oil temps? Well, the simple answer is to head over to Keys Motorsports and pick up this easy to install CSF Race-Spec intercooler. While you're there, you should check out some of the other cooling products from CSF, like intercoolers and heat exchangers. Now, as always, I put links in the description below to all the products, tools, and specs for this install. So what's so special about this oil cooler, you might ask? Well, it has 60% more rows when compared to the stock oil cooler, with 14 rows in the front versus 13 on the standard, and an additional 5 rows of cooling on the back. Now, because of all this added cooling technology, you should see reduced temps by about 15 to 20 degrees. This also uses a bar and plate design instead of the tube and fin, which is going to be much stronger against rocks and other debris. The black coating also is not just for looks, it's also there for salt and corrosion. Now, because this oil cooler is so much larger than the stock one, you're gonna need to run an extra half quart of oil. All right, so let's head out to the garage and get this oil cooler installed. Now, the tools needed for this install are an 8mm socket, a T30, a flathead screwdriver, and a torque wrench. Now you may have seen in an earlier video where I talked about my run-in with a deer, so that's why the front bumper is off, and it's actually gonna give us a better view at what we're gonna be doing with the oil cooler. Now remember, for this install you do not need to remove the front bumper, but again, it's gonna give us a really good view at what's going on. We're actually gonna be working in the passenger side wheel well for this install. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is remove the passenger side front wheel. All right, now the next thing that we're gonna do is remove the 10 8mm screws that hold the wheel liner in place. All right, so we're just gonna remove the wheel liner and put it aside. Now that we have the wheel liner removed, we have better access to the oil cooler. Now what you're gonna wanna do is take a flathead screwdriver and you're gonna wanna release the 2 tabs at the top here. Now I'll have better access to show you those tabs once the oil cooler is removed, but just know there's a flathead screw, you put the flathead screwdriver right in here to release 2 tabs. All right, so now we're gonna take our T30 and remove this nut at the top of the connection. You're gonna wanna make sure that you have an oil pan or something to catch any oil that may come out. So now you're just going to kind of rock this connection back and forth. That's why we have an oil pan there. All right, so now that we have the stock oil cooler out, we can see the difference. The CSF oil cooler looks much, much nicer, much better build quality. All right, so now what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna take and remove the O-rings that are on this connection and replace them with new ones. I'll have links in the description below to the O-rings that you'll need. Now, one of my O-rings was actually in the stock oil cooler and the other one was stuck on the connection. So basically you just want to replace those on the new one. And you just put a little bit of oil on them. I'm just going to slide onto the connection. All right, so now we're gonna take our new CSF oil cooler. We're just gonna pop on the connection here. Okay. Then we're gonna take our T30. And we're gonna tighten it down to 8 Newton meters. All right, and there we go. So now we're just gonna take the bottom tabs, kind of line them up a little bit, and rock this in place. All right, and there you go. The oil cooler is installed. Now you want to make sure that you put the caps on your old oil cooler so that you don't leak any oil out if you're storing it. I love how this sits just OEM. I mean, it's a perfect fit. It just clips right in exactly how the OEM would be. I couldn't be happier. So the only thing left to do is to pop the wheel liner back on, put the wheel on, we're good to go. Now, as you saw, the CSF Race-Spec intercooler from Keys Motorsports is extremely easy to install, and I'm really interested to see what the temps look like once I finish rebuilding the F33 and get it back out on the road. Now, as always, I'll put links in the description below to all the products, tools, and specs used in the video today. Now, if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, smash it if that's what you're into, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless.